In Lesson 9, we're going to take a look at the potentiometer controlling a motor, just like we did in Lesson 8. However, with Lesson 9, we're going to be a little more efficient with the code and actually gain greater control. Let's take a look at what this is going to look like. So as I turn potentiometer D, you'll notice that motor 1 starts corresponding with the value of the potentiometer. So I'm barely turning the potentiometer, it's barely moved. Now that it's moved a little more, you see the motor speeding up. As I get toward the end, I can actually turn it back and it will respond accordingly. So let's go ahead and take a look at the code. If we take a look at the block, you can see that we have a forever loop, and then we've set the motor velocity to equal something that we sense. Normally this is set to a value, so like 50% or something like that. And then all we've done is just say spin the motor forward. Let's take a look at how that looks in Python. So the very first step is we're going to say File, New Text Project, and we're going to choose Python. Before we get too far, we want to set up our devices. So we're going to add a device and we're going to say motor. And then I'll say motor 1. Now I'll add a device. I'm going to say 3-wire because that's how my potentiometer is. And I'll choose potentiometer. Mine is import D. And I'll choose done. I can actually go ahead and slide this over now because that's all we need to do there. So in our code, we know that we need a forever loop. So we can go to control, and that's going to be while loop. We'll drag it over, and we'll say for condition, we'll say true. So while this condition is true, this will continue to happen. We want to set our motor velocity. So to set motor velocity, that's going to be in the motion area. And we're going to find where it says motor velocity, which is right here. Motor set velocity. We'll drag it over here under pass, or right in front of pass. This is where things get a little bit different. So instead of 50, we're going to go to sensing. And we're going to find that potentiometer. There's that angle. So we're going to drag it over and essentially replace that 50 with it. So we've got a potentiometer D angle. Instead of percent, let's change this to degrees. Let's lose that 50 because we won't need that anymore. Next, now that we've set that potentiometer to follow a specific value, now what we're going to do is say motion, and we'll select motor spin forward. Drag it to the next line. And now we can delete this and download it and confirm it on our brains.